Hello, hello. Today I'm in a hotel. I'm in Chongqing, but that's not really the point of this. So I was doing. So I've been to the clinician. I've gone to a psychiatrist and got my psychiatric evaluation and stuff. And I've had just a disorder, but also a possible ADHD charge as well. And I've gone through the second phase of that, and there's a pretty good chance that I have it. And I was given these medications for a trial, pretty like low dosage. And honestly, I took it today, this morning, and I took some notes and stuff. And it felt like I could just stay on something for a little bit longer, or just longer, like reading a sort of hard book usually is difficult when it's like I'm reading and it's like either a hard concept or just something or just the words are just kind of annoying to read, or like I have to do some like feel like I had to decode this sentence. I get a little bit annoyed, and it just makes me want to like stop or like do something, and I had to be like, okay, I have to keep going. And that's just what it feels like when I'm reading something hard. I get these kind of mild annoyances where I read and either don't get something, or I have to like slow down and like try and understand it and just get annoyed by it and tell myself to keep going, and I keep going, and it's just like that, but like over and over again. But like with the medication, I guess, I don't know, it felt like kind of like a train, and there was like momentum, and like when I was reading, you know, it was like I thought, oh, this part's kind of annoying, or oh, I don't really like this part. But something that didn't really happen before was just like it kind of felt like I was already moving, and there's already like so much momentum that like it wasn't even worth stopping. Like my impulse to like stop or do something else was weaker than like the momentum and like dopamine, I guess, from like just going through it. And honestly, it's been really trippy for me because I can't really tell, like, besides these small things. So I'm on, like, really small dose, and, I didn't do, like, a ton of other work either, but just, it was kind of easier to do it. And it's like, but, my heart rate was a little bit up. That's a common side effect. My mouth was a little bit dry, another common side effect. So I was getting these side effects and stuff, but it wasn't like I was like wired. Like I think if I was like 100%, you know, didn't have this condition, if I didn't have ADHD or possibly have it, because it's still not like 100% confirmed, I would probably be wired up, or like just like boosted. Like I would be like anxious and like jittery and like I'm focusing too much or like something like that. But I kind of just felt more calm. Like besides my body kind of being uncomfortable with like slightly faster heart rate or mouth or like just other things. Yeah. But honestly, it's been kind of making me kind of confused because like how do you what am I then? It's like it really makes me think like is all the everything I've done just because of like the chemicals in my brain. Which obviously the answer to that is yes, but it's like more so that it feels like it's the chicken and the egg, like my entire life now. It's like because like I have very I question a lot of things, and I try to think through a lot of things, and like I don't like doing a lot of things because in my head the reason was it's stupid, or it's pointless, or it won't help me, or something like school. A lot of school for me became it's stupid because for one, it's not aligned with my incentives. It's made to raise the next generation of factory workers and compliant workers. And if you want to do it, if you want to like be able to, you know, either make money or just like try to do something beyond just that, it's not helpful. It's not actually training you. It's not helping you in that aspect. And also just like doing things just like everybody else and putting in, all these hours for that, like the last 20%. It's like marginal gains once you get a good enough grade. Just for me, it doesn't make sense either. It's like, why would you do that either? But, now it's like, damn, what if I just was never rewarded by school at all? Like, whether I did good or whether I did bad, I never feel like great. It's more just like, if I do good, it's relief I didn't do bad or like, mess up or disappoint my parents or something. But then if I do bad, it's like just a whole shock. It just feels like I'm walking on a tightrope all the time when I'm doing a lot of stuff because it feels like I don't feel good when I do well, but it feels like I have a lot to lose or I feel like shit when I do badly. And, that's just annoying. And, seeing that, people who don't have the condition kind of, they're able to complete things or do things, even boring things, and once they complete it, they can feel a little bit of pride or like some like dopamine release once they do it. And it's like, yes, I've done my own things and stuff, but it's like, and like I've done school and stuff, but it's like after a lot of hard things I do, it just feels like instead of any pride, I feel like I don't feel any pride for anything. Like it feels like all of my achievements are like just me somehow making it through something. And when I don't make it through or I don't reach the highest expectations or I fall short, it just feels like I wasn't enough and like wasn't, I don't know, couldn't do it or something. And like when it's that, and then it's like I take this pill or something, and now it's like I can do things that are boring more easily, or I can like because I always knew like a lot of this boring stuff is like you kind of have to just do it sometimes. It's just kind of like what you have to the price you have to pay. But it's just like kind of insane how like just the chemicals in your brain can make it so much easier, so much harder to do depending on what you are, and not even just what you think. Like just that, just the chemical baseline, and it kind of just fucking with like how I think of myself and like people because it's like I'm not really against a reductionist argument of being like, oh, we're all just chemicals and like atoms put together. Like, I don't really find that like flattening or dehumanizing in a way because I mean it's real and it's true. Like, I don't really have a problem with it, but it's just like a lot of the beliefs I had and things that like I still have prided myself on. Like, I prided myself on the fact that I was doing my own thing. I pride myself on the fact that I'm differentiating myself and like doing all this stuff and like building up special skills or like reading special things and like doing things people aren't doing or like preparing and when it's just like, oh yeah, that's pretty predictable based on your life history and the chemical makeup in your head. It kind of just fucks with you. And then couple that with the fact that like now it's like there's two versions of me. It's like this version where the original me, or if that's what it feels like, the genesis of like me is the one who does work, and it's hard. It's really just hard. And I'm distracted or I do it, and I just don't care about making mistakes. I just submit it, whatever, knowing I'll get a lot of points off, but like knowing I made the 80% mark or like above that and thinking it's fine because it's not worth the effort after that. It's just like that, and now it's like if I take a pill, I can do what was costing me so much before, and the fact that you know I'm supposed to, what am I supposed to do? Like I'm afraid of taking this every day and relying on it, because I can't control if I have this pill or not sometimes, and if it's like something like what are the I'm just afraid that like I am kind of disabled and you know like is this like I'm mentally disabled and like I didn't think I was like ableist or something overtly, but it's more of just like how fragile I kind of feel if I am. Like I'm sure if you can't walk, it probably feels fragile, like having to have a wheelchair wheel around and then like have somebody help you to get on the toilet. And it's like I don't obviously like it's not as comparable, but it's like what if this is kind of just me with this? And it's like yeah, the person with a wheelchair could just like walk on his hands and like learn how to do that, compensate, walk around his hands. But it's still not the same as just walking on your 2 feet. It's like for me, it's just not the same as just being able to do things that I find stupid or boring. And even if they're important, like just being able to do that and feeling good about it, I feel like I can't do that without this like fucking kind of pill that I might become I don't know dependent on or will have like withdrawal symptoms if I just get on or get off if I'm irregular or if something happens and like the pills aren't available then like I just spiral or something. You know, in the end we're all like really fragile of course, but it's just like damn, like I am, you know, like I just wish it wasn't. Like I wish I didn't have to. I wish when it's like you have to you have to rely on something. And I just always hated relying on things because a lot of things I relied on just like didn't help me or didn't work out or just didn't understand me. And I always think that it's best to like rely on yourself because that's the person who's in your corner all the time. If you're able to handle things by yourself, you can handle the world really. But this is just like it's kind of a lot for me. So